Hi, I'm Michael Edson. I'm the Director of Web and New Media Strategy at the Smithsonian Institution, and thanks for having me to Economies of the Commons virtually. I'm on Skype in the background, and I'll be around to answer questions after this part of the presentation is done. I'm at the Smithsonian now, at the Smithsonian Castle building, and I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about the Smithsonian Commons project. The Smithsonian is the world's largest museum and research complex. We have 28 separate museums and research centers, plus the National Zoo, and most of the web and new media production happens in those separate centers, virtually all of it. We have 137 million physical objects at the Smithsonian. We have 6,000 employees, 30 million physical visitors, between 100 million and 200 million virtual visitors. And the Smithsonian is now defined by a grand strategy that articulates 4 grand challenges at the institution. Unlocking the mysteries of the universe, understanding and sustaining a biodiverse planet, valuing world cultures, and understanding the American experience. These are big goals, and these are goals that really matter for people alive today and our descendants. And it's important that we attack these goals in the most effective, efficient, powerful way. And the centerpiece of the Smithsonian's Web and New Media Strategy, therefore, is the idea of the Smithsonian Commons. The goal of the Smithsonian Commons is to stimulate creativity, learning, and innovation through open access to Smithsonian resources, communities, and expertise. And notice that this isn't just a commons of stuff, it's a commons of stuff and communities and expertise, the things, the people, the ideas, all together. And this is not a commons that is just for us experts inside the Smithsonian. I take particular inspiration from Joy's law. Bill Joy was one of the co-founders of Sun Microsystems, and he famously said, no matter what business you're in, most of the smart people work for someone else. Our job in this era is going to be to make people outside the Smithsonian successful in whatever they choose to do. So, we say that the Smithsonian Commons will be vast, findable, shareable, and free. Vastness is not just a lot of stuff, it's the whole Smithsonian, the people, the activities, the programs, the expertise, and the visitors, the communities that form. Vastness, we say, doesn't do you much good if you can't find anything. So findability, search, information architecture, design, user experience is really central to the experience and goes hand in hand with vastness. Once you've found something, it doesn't do you much good if you don't know what you can do with it, if you can't share it with the people you know, if you can't add value to it, if you can't put the assets to work for business, for scholarship, for pleasure. So vast, findable, shareable is so important. And then once you have that thing, we postulate that free resources will spread faster and accomplish more positive, beneficial work in society than resources that are artificially enclosed and constrained. So vast, findable, shareable, and free. So let me unpack this idea of free for a second. The Smithsonian Commons is based on a web and new media strategy that says certain things about business models and charging for content. The core of the business strategy in the web and new media strategy is to increase revenue from e-commerce fundamentals and Web 2.0 perspectives. The e-commerce fundamentals is about basic execution, making our customers, our visitors, our communities aware of the products and services we already offer, we already support, we already cherish. The Smithsonian Magazine, membership, the Smithsonian Store, about executing around making those resources known to, available, easy to purchase for our visitors. We don't do a very good job with that now. The Web 2.0 perspectives is about recognizing that the greatest business opportunity for the Smithsonian is in creating a large and ongoing community of engaged enthusiasts. That's the goal. And many positive things, including some revenue-related things, flow out from that. We also say in the strategy that attempting to directly monetize access to and use of Smithsonian resources is not a sustainable business model. That's a fairly strong assertion, but it's really fundamental to where we're going with the Smithsonian Commons. And we say that the Commons offers an alternative. We've written a project charter that describes the DNA of this Smithsonian Commons project. Really, it's a project management document. And in the charter, we say it's one of the primary goals of the Smithsonian Commons project to find new revenue models through free content. We don't know what those models are going to be, which is sort of typical of the fashion of generating new innovative things like a commons. But we say we dedicate resources to execution around business fundamentals, and we structure a relationship with the existing revenue generating parts of the Smithsonian to collaborate on this project. We also note that the Smithsonian as a business, and I found this in so many museums and libraries and archives, that the Smithsonian as a business doesn't have very good business metrics around revenue generation at all. So it's going to be difficult to measure the degree to which the Commons project changes or advances or is more profitable than old models, because we don't really measure the old models very well. We don't have a standardized way of measuring cost to market and overhead. So the project charter really calls for, and the strategy calls for, the creation of a standard accounting practice across all Smithsonian museums so we can compare apples to apples, as the idiom goes. So we think that the Commons project is going to take $20 million over 5 years to really fulfill the vision, to get to a steady state. That doesn't mean that we don't start innovating and doing things in public until 5 years from now. Quite the contrary. We're going to begin producing public websites and betas almost immediately after the project is funded. And through several years of trial and error and experimentation, focusing on the entire user experience, including revenue generation, we hope to understand better the dynamics of how to make some money in harmony with the mission of the institution through a commons, through free content. It's an R&D project. So to summarize, we're making some assertions with this project. The commons model is central to the Smithsonian strategy. The commons offers a better or an alternative model to accomplishing our audacious goals. It supports the pursuit of those goals. The commons will be free to use and join. That we will try to generate revenue in harmony with the mission, primarily through executing on e-commerce fundamentals, and that the first years of the Smithsonian's Commons project are research and development. Really, the whole project forever will be agile and constantly focusing on reinvention and discovery. So, the Smithsonian's Web and New Media strategy is online on a public-facing wiki, and I encourage you all to go out and read it, as is the Commons project charter, as is the Smithsonian Commons prototype, and a number of papers and presentations about the Commons project. And I encourage you, if you're interested in these topics, to read and look at them all. Presentations, papers with footnotes and hyperlinks, the whole bit. And I think now I'll ask Eric and the team on site there to play one of the prototype stories for the Smithsonian Commons project. And I may provide some voice narrative while that's happening. But it'll give you a sense of the flavor of the project and how we're approaching monetization and revenue generation. And then I can answer questions. Thanks a lot.